All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Russian President Vladimir Putin says India is one of the authoritative centers of multipolar world with a foreign policy similar to Russia's own. New guidelines for international passengers come into effect. Government says 6 cases of COVID-19 reported in India on screening passengers of 11 flights from at-risk countries. Over 124 crore 86 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Lok Sabha likely to take up National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research Amendment Bill 2021 today. Dam Safety Bill 2019 expected to be discussed for consideration and passing in Rajya Sabha. Indian Railway operates nearly 1,600 Kisan rail services since launch in August last year. Transports over 5,20,000 tons of perishables. Government says more than 10 crore unorganized workers register on e-Shram portal in less than 100 days. GST collections in November crossed 1,30,000 crore rupees, the second highest since its rollout. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Thought Leadership Forum on FinTech tomorrow. NCMC reviews preparedness for impending cyclone in Bay of Bengal, likely to affect Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal. And in hockey, defending champions India beat Belgium 1-0 in Bhubaneswar to enter the semi-finals. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the fresh corona variants is also causing concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said India is one of the authoritative centers of the multipolar world with a foreign policy, philosophy and priorities that are closely aligned with Russia's own. Mr. Putin said this at a ceremony in the Kremlin yesterday when Indian ambassador to Russia, Pavan Kapoor, presented credentials to the president. Speaking at the ceremony, the Russian president said next week he is visiting India, and during talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they will outline new large-scale initiatives for the further development of the specially privileged Russian-Indian relationship and the Russian-Indian strategic partnership. He further said this partnership brings real mutual benefit to both the states, and bilateral trade shows good dynamic ties are actively developing in the energy sector, innovation, space and in the production of coronavirus vaccines and medicines. There is extensive cooperation in the defense sector, including through the creation of joint ventures, he added. President Putin will arrive in New Delhi on an official visit on the 6th of December for the 21st India-Russia Annual Summit with Prime Minister Modi. Earlier, External Affairs Ministry spokesman Arindam Bagchi informed that the leaders would review the state and prospects of bilateral relations and discuss ways to further strengthen the strategic partnership between the 2 countries. India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 124 crore 86 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccination, more than 79 crore vaccine doses have been given as first dose, while over 45 crore 76 lakh doses have been administered as second dose. The Health Ministry said that more than 71,55,000 vaccine doses were administered till 7 last evening.
The government yesterday said that 6 COVID-19 positive cases have been reported after screening of 3,476 passengers from 11 international flights from at-risk countries. The new guidelines for international travellers issued by the centre came into force yesterday. The Union Health Ministry said all the passengers were tested for COVID-19, wherein only 6 passengers were found positive. The samples of the COVID-19 positive passengers have been sent to INSACOG, Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium, labs for whole genomic sequencing. Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, has said that it will notify its decision on data of resumption of scheduled commercial international passengers airline services to and from India in due course. DGCA in a circular said that the situation is being closely watched in view of emergence of new COVID variant. Recently, the centre decided to resume scheduled commercial international passenger services from the 15th of December this month. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the scheduled international commercial passenger services were suspended by India on 23rd March last year.
Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia will hold a meeting today with airport public health officers through video conference about airport surveillance in view of the new COVID-19 variant Omicron. Earlier, the ministry had advised the states to not let their guards down and keep a strict vigil on the international passengers coming to the country through various airports, ports and land border crossings. The Omicron variant does not escape RT-PCR and rapid antigen test.
In the United States, the first confirmed case of Omicron variant of COVID-19 was recorded yesterday. Top infectious disease expert in the country, Anthony Fauci, said first case of the new variant was identified in a fully vaccinated traveler who had returned from South Africa on the 22nd of last month and had mild symptoms. The heavily mutated Omicron variant of the coronavirus is rapidly becoming dominant in South Africa, less than 4 weeks after being detected there, as other countries tighten their borders against a new threat. World Health Organization chief warned that a mix of low vaccination coverage and low testing rates are creating fertile breeding grounds for new COVID variants. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has also said that blanket travel bans will not prevent the spread of Omicron variant of coronavirus, and they place a heavy burden on lives and livelihoods. Addressing a press briefing yesterday, the WHO chief said the Omicron has been confirmed in 23 countries and their number is expected to rise.
In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Mona Desai, President of Ahmedabad Medical Association, will be with us today to answer the queries related to coronavirus. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on toll-free number 1800-115767 and on telephone number 011-233-14444. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR.
The Lok Sabha is scheduled to take up the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research Amendment Bill 2021 today. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia will move the bill to further amend the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research Act 1998. The Rajya Sabha is scheduled to discuss the Dam Safety Bill 2019 for consideration and passing. The bill will provide surveillance, inspection, operation and maintenance of the specified dam for prevention of dam failure-related disasters. It will also provide institutional mechanism to ensure safe functioning of dam.
The Lok Sabha yesterday passed the Assistant Reproductive Technology Regulation Bill 2020 after a detailed discussion. The bill was moved for consideration and passing by Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia in the post-lunch session yesterday. The minister said the bill is aimed at regulating the Assisted Reproductive Technology ART clinics and the ART banks. Earlier, the Congress and the DMK members staged a walkout from the House for a brief while in support of the demand to revoke the suspension of the 12 opposition Rajya Sabha members. Meanwhile, the Rajya Sabha witnessed a series of adjournments yesterday over the issue of the suspension of 12 opposition members. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said the suspended members have so far not expressed remorse for their unruly conduct, due to which the image of the House has been tarnished.
The government has said that more than 10 crore unorganized workers registered on e-Shram portal in less than 100 days. The Labour and Employment Ministry had launched the e-Shram portal for creating a national database of unorganized workers on 26 August this year. The portal seeded with Aadhaar will be used to deliver all the social security benefits of the central and state governments for the unorganized workers. All eligible registered workers on eShram portal get accidental insurance cover of 2 lakh rupees under Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. Government has provided registration facilities at the doorstep of the unorganized worker. Indian Railway have operated nearly 1,600 Kisan Rail services since the launch of the service in August last year. Kisan Rail trains have been introduced to enable speedy movement of perishables, including fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry, fishery and dairy products from production or surplus regions to consumption or deficient regions. Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said this in a written reply in Lok Sabha yesterday. He said Kisan Rail has transported over 5,20,000 tons of perishables, including onion, banana, potato and other fruits and vegetables. The minister said so far no difficulties have been faced during the transportation of goods through Kisan Rail services.
The Finance Ministry has said GST revenues for November this year have been the second highest ever since the introduction of GST, and the gross GST revenue collected in November this year is 1,31,526 crore rupees. For the second straight month, gross GST collection has crossed 1,30,000 crore rupees. The revenues for November this year are 25% higher than the GST revenues in the same month last year, and 27% over 2019-20. During the month, revenues from import of goods was 43% higher as compared to November last year.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Russian President Vladimir Putin says India is one of the authoritative centers of multipolar world with a foreign policy similar to Russia's own. New guidelines for international passengers come into effect. Government says 6 cases of COVID-19 reported in India on screening passengers of 11 flights from at-risk countries. Over 124 crore 86 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Lok Sabha likely to take up National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research Amendment Bill 2021 today. Dam Safety Bill 2019 expected to be discussed for consideration and passing in Rajya Sabha. Indian Railway operates nearly 1,600 Kisan Rail services since launch in August last year, transports over 5,20,000 tons of perishables. Government says more than 10 crore unorganized workers register on eShram portal in less than 100 days. GST collections in November crossed 1,30,000 crore rupees, the second highest since its rollout. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Thought Leadership Forum on FinTech tomorrow. NTMC reviews preparedness for impending cyclone in Bay of Bengal, likely to affect Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal. In hockey, defending champions India beat Belgium 1-0 in Bhubaneswar to enter semi-finals. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the morning news on All India Radio. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Infinity Forum, a thought leadership forum on fintech tomorrow through video conferencing. The event is being hosted by International Financial Services Centres Authority under the aegis of Government of India in collaboration with Gift City and Bloomberg. Indonesia, South Africa and the UK are partner countries in the first edition of the forum. Infinity Forum will bring together leading minds of the world in policy, business and technology. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Dehradun on Saturday to inaugurate and lay foundation stones of multiple projects worth around 18,000 crore rupees. A significant focus of the visit will be on projects to improve road infrastructure, which will make travel smooth and safer and also increase tourism in the region. Our correspondent reports that Prime Minister will also lay foundation stones for projects related to development of water supply, road and drainage system in Dehradun at a cost of over 700 crore rupees.
Prime Minister will lay foundation stone of 11 development projects. This includes the Delhi-Dehradun Economic Corridor, which will be built at a cost of around 8,300 crore rupees. It will significantly reduce the travel time between Delhi to Dehradun from 6 hours to around 2.5 hours. It will have 7 major interchanges for connectivity to Haridwar, Muzaffarnagar, Shamli, Yamunanagar, Bagpat, Meerut and Badod. It will have Asia's largest wildlife elevated corridor of 12 kilometers for unrestricted wildlife movement. Prime Minister will also inaugurate 7 projects, including those which focus on making travel safer by tackling the problem of chronic landslides in the region. A bridge across River Ganga next to the Lakshman Jhula will also be constructed, and it will have provision of a glass deck for people walking and will also allow lightweight vehicles to move across. With Dipendra Kumar, Aarti Rana, AIR News, Delhi.
All India Radio News has been reaching out to the people across the country with stories that matter for the citizens. Uttar Pradesh has seen rapid strides in development over the past 5 years. AIR Lucknow will broadcast from today a special series, Uttar Pradesh Ki Baat, Akashvani ke Saath, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday from 7:45 p.m. to 7:55 p.m. The program can be accessed on medium wave 747 kHz frequency and on the News on Air app. The National Crisis Management Committee yesterday reviewed the preparedness of central ministries, agencies and state governments to deal with the situation arising out of the impending cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. The meeting was held under the chairmanship of Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba. During the meeting, Director General of the India Meteorological Department briefed the committee about the current status of a low-pressure area in the Bay of Bengal, which is likely to intensify into a cyclonic storm by tomorrow. It is expected to cross the coast of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha by the morning of Saturday, with wind speeds ranging from 90 km per hour to 100 km per hour, accompanied by heavy rainfall and tidal waves in the coastal districts of these states. The cyclonic storm is likely to affect the districts of Srikakulam, Visakhapatnam and Vijayanagaram in Andhra Pradesh and coastal districts of Odisha. It is also likely to bring heavy to very heavy rainfall in the coastal areas and Gangetic parts of West Bengal.
The Odisha government has reviewed its cyclone preparedness in view of the impending storm Javad. Accordingly, all the coastal and adjacent districts of the state have been alerted to stay prepared to tackle the cyclone impact. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Consequent upon the high-level meeting of National Crisis Management Committee meeting chaired by the Cabinet Secretary in New Delhi yesterday, the Odisha government took stock of its own preparedness to face off the cyclonic impact should it cross its course. The Meteorological Department is likely to forecast the trajectory of the impending storm today. As per information as of now, it's likely to approach South Odisha and North Andhra Pradesh coast day after tomorrow. This may bring in heavy to very heavy rainfall and heavy winds at a number of places across the coastal and adjacent districts of the state from tomorrow itself. Accordingly, concerned district administration have been alerted to keep their plans on evacuation and logistics ready. More than 300 teams from NDRF, ODRAF and Fire Service Department will be positioned at various vulnerable locations for rescue and relief operations. It is Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter from Telangana region, Dr. Mari Chinna Reddy, who died on the 2nd of December 1996. He took part in the political struggle in the erstwhile Hyderabad state during the 1940s. He was also among the stalwarts who headed the Telangana movement in the late 1960s.
Reddy was born on the 13th of January 1919 in Paramangalaram village in Hyderabad state, at present in Moinabad zone of Rangareddy district, Telangana state. After graduating from Osmania Medical College, he opened 2 clinics and set up his own medical practice.
However, his heart desired to fight for the cause of freedom, so he abandoned his successful medical practice and dedicated himself to the cause of public service against the oppressive rule in the princely state.
Reddy took active part in the political struggle in the erstwhile Hyderabad state. He was the founder of the Andhra Yuvajana Samiti and was associated with several students, youth, social, educational, literary and cultural organizations.
In 1942, he was elected as the General Secretary of Andhra Mahasabha, which was a precursor of the State Congress. In 1946, he became a member of the Standing Committee of the State Congress and General Secretary of Hyderabad City Congress. Reddy firmly believed in Mahatma Gandhiji's methods of non-violent resistance.
After independence, Reddy served as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh twice. He also served as the Governor of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu.
He also played an active role in the movement for a separate Telangana state and was president of the then popular Telangana movement, Telangana Praja Samiti. Till the very end, he remained committed to his cause for public service. We salute this great nationalist, freedom fighter and son of the soil.
We also remember Mungi Viraya and his compatriots who were martyred on the 2nd of December 1946 when over 500 soldiers of the Nizam raided the village of Mallareddygudam in Nalgonda, Telangana, in search of the peasant rebels. Viraya, along with over 600 villagers, gathered to offer resistance, on which the soldiers opened fire, even without any provocation, in which Viraya and another peasant died immediately.
The other villagers rose in self-defense and countered the autocratic Nizam soldiers by using Vadisela's catapults for throwing stones and chilli water for throwing in the eyes. 9 more villagers died in the brutal suppression. We salute all the martyrs.
We also remember one of the earliest moderate leaders, Narayan Ganesh Chandwarkar, who was born on the 2nd of December 1855 in Honavar in Bombay Presidency.
After getting his law degree in 1881, Chandwarkar went to London in 1885 as a member of the 3-man delegation to educate public opinion about India before England's general elections. On his return, he threw himself wholeheartedly into the work of the Indian National Congress and was elected president of its annual session in the year 1900.
Thereafter, he took a break from active politics and dedicated his life to the judicial systems and social causes, taking over leadership reins of Prarthana Samaj after the death of Mahadev Govind Ranade in 1901.
He re-entered the political field in 1914 and led the All India Moderates Conference in 1918, along with Surendranath Banerjee and Dinshaw Vacha. In 1920, he presided over the public meeting held in Bombay to protest against the report of the Hunter Committee on the Jallianwala Bagh atrocities, which was appointed by the British authorities. It was on Chandwarkar's advice that Gandhiji called off the non-cooperation movement.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
A special roundup on unsung heroes of Indian freedom movement will be broadcast as the part of our series Veer Gatha at 4:45 p.m. in the program Parikrama today.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार के कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में बृहस्पतिवार को शाम 4:45 पर सुनिए देश की आजादी में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देने वाले भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के सेनानियों की वीर गाथा।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404, issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago.
The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has said the temperatures have already dipped below zero in Afghanistan and people are in need of winter clothing, emergency shelter, heating and fuel, as well as rental support. Speaking at a press conference, Stefan Dujarric, spokesman for Secretary General Antonio Guterres, said that the 2021 Afghanistan Flash Appeal, seeking $606 million, has seen generous funding.
Previous years' trends indicate that by November, cases of hypothermia, acute respiratory infections, and deaths directly and indirectly associated with the cold are likely to increase. Recently, we distributed winterization assistance to 32,200 people in Kunar, Nangarhar, and Nuristan provinces, and partners are also responding.
In hockey, defending champions India reached the semi-finals of the Men's Junior World Cup with a 1-0 victory over Belgium in the quarterfinals in Bhubaneswar last night. India scored the only goal of the match in the second quarter as they converted their first and only penalty corner. With this, India, Germany, Argentina and France had qualified for the semi-finals to be played tomorrow. India will face Germany in one of the semi-finals at the iconic Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar at 7:30 p.m. Argentina will take on France in the other semi-final at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. National capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Mumbai and Chennai will have cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. Jammu, Srinagar and Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. Leh and Gilgit is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Shillong, Itanagar, Kohima and Gangtok will witness mainly clear sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. As the Omicron situation is being watched, DGCA has postponed the full resumption of commercial international passenger flight services that was planned to start from December 15th. The Hindu writes, Omicron scare grounds international flight plan, expensive tests at airport. India IT spending to top $100 billion in 2022 in signs of biz revival, says the Economic Times. The Indian Express quoting the UGC writes, roll out common entrance exam from 2022-2023. No entry for unvaxxed to city public places, says the Times of India. If the Delhi state government proposal is cleared, one will need at least one dose of COVID vax to take the metro, DTC buses, cinema halls or religious places. The Pioneer notes the TMC chief batting for non-Congress opposition unity to take on Might or BJP, questioning the very existence of UPA. And finally, a front-page headline is the Asian Age reports, Tel Aviv beats Paris to become world's most expensive city.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Russian President Vladimir Putin says India is one of the authoritative centers of multipolar world with a foreign policy similar to Russia's own. New guidelines for international passengers come into effect. Government says 6 cases of COVID-19 reported in India on screening passengers of 11 flights from at-risk countries. Over 124 crore 86 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Lok Sabha likely to take up National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research Amendment Bill 2021 today. Dam Safety Bill 2019 expected to be discussed for consideration and passing in Rajya Sabha. Indian Railway operates nearly 1,600 Kisan Rail services since launch in August last year. Government says more than 10 crore unorganized workers register on e-Shram portal in less than 100 days. GST collections in November crossed 1,30,000 crore rupees, the second highest since its rollout. NCMC reviews preparedness for impending cyclone in Bay of Bengal, likely to affect Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal. And in hockey, defending champions India beat Belgium 1-0 in Bhubaneswar to enter the semi-finals. And with that, we end the morning.